which is my good side. So much to do to get everything ready.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's crazy. Do we have any regrets?
Yes, that face club.
I just put his mouth in my eyes. This is the phone booth. Here we are, day 2 on our 18-day trip, and we are dead again.
Another issue we're having is the seat won't stay in position when you're leaning back. It is an electric seat, and these will go back. So it does travel back and forth, and obviously there's some kind of clamp onto the actuator that stops the seat from moving freely. But unfortunately, it doesn't work. And I've tried taking it apart once. I've taken all the top side off, and that doesn't get me to the actuator, so I have to get underneath and take the whole seat out to get to the location where the clamp connects to the actuator. I'm not looking forward to that job, but it has to be done because we need to get this done before we go away.
Yeah. It was pretty annoying because we sit in this couch when we're watching TV usually, so the two of us in here we're on constantly
I'm gonna push ourselves back and
yeah. So there's more to it.
I figured that the clamp here on the actuator had come loose, and that's exactly what's happened. So you can see where the seat's been sliding, and it shouldn't be. Additionally, I discovered when we first bought this thing, Lee's found this bolt down in the bottom of the storage unit, and she asked me if I had any idea what it was for, because at that point you can't see this. This is all buried underneath, and you can't get to it, you can't see it. I had no idea what it was for. Now I do. And the nut was missing, so fortunately I have one that will work. So this bolts this actuator in place, as you can see. The bolt was gone, so this bolt has to go back into here. And that on the other side that holds the back of the actuator on. And these two bolts pinch on the actuating rod so that it doesn't move, but the hydraulic cylinder or electric cylinder moves in and out, and that's what moves the seats. So over time they just work themselves loose.
All right.
Which means I'm gonna have to go through like every bolt on the rig,
Never ending.
try to figure out what's loose. But it's good to know, because it was quite the job to get this off. I had to basically take out 40 screws to get this piece off. And the other two slides are over here. These are monster slides that the two ends of the seat slide on. So these are just followers, basically. You just follow the center one, which is the actual actuator. Okay, so I'll get it back together again, and that's another job fixed. Okay. It all seems to be working now. Misspent youth in construction and in automotive repair has come in handy in my life. Kind of got out of those professions because I didn't want to do that anymore, but it's sure helping me nowadays. Oh, that is Milwaukee. Not sponsored, but if Milwaukee wants to sponsor us, I've already paid for most of the tools. We don't have any sponsorship. And we're not really looking for it, but a little bit of help on the way isn't a bad thing. I just figured out what that other piece was down in there. I couldn't figure it out. It's down underneath the seat, because this side is a little storage, great place for hiding stuff. this side is the inverter, as I mentioned, and the Starlink. I couldn't figure out what that was. It's the subwoofer for the Bose system that these rigs all come with. Of course, I will tell you that I took everything out because it was all 10 years old and obsolete, and we've now gone with Starlink and a new TV and blah blah blah. So I gotta do that about 15 more times. Further into our conversation about overheating issues that we've had with the EarthRoamer. So we had some work done on it, changing one of the oil coolers to a high performance one. And then we've also added a couple of oil coolers, but initially we only added one. And if Lise brings the camera over here, I'll show you where it was mounted. So it's mounted up in there. You can just see it here. So this is the passive oil cooler, and it goes up and you can sort of see it, but you know, the grill is in the way, so it doesn't get a lot of cool air. Additionally, when we need it the most is when we're climbing and going slowly, and that oil cooler requires airflow. So again, two issues. One, the grill blocks a lot of the airflow, and two, at 30 or 40 miles an hour, it's not as much airflow and not enough required to cool the oil. So we had to add another oil cooler and a fan. So we've added another one right under here. Now I'm a little worried it's a bit low. I may have to move it. He did a great job mounting it, and behind it, I don't know if you can see that or not, there's an electric fan with a thermostat. I think it goes on, turns the fan on at roughly 190 degrees.
So you're now worried about the angle?
Yeah.
But actually it looks pretty good.
Except if there's, a hump.
Something, yeah.
And we're going up something steep, it could get damaged. But now, when we're going slowly, and the engine gets hot, we have a fan. So there's 3 additional oil coolers now in this rig. Hopefully that helps keep the oil temperature down around 220.
I was just going to show Ray's got the typical Pacific Northwest foot attire, and I have the typical Pacific Northwest foot attire in pink.
Yeah, all pink. I'm
He's brown and black and brown.
Multicolored, which is my good side. We're trying to sort out the outdoor barbecue. We had it on slides, but they don't open that well. It was always awkward to do. Here we go, that works better. I had these 2 slides, one over here. But when I put this together, I don't think I have them exactly lined up, so it's very difficult to open that up. So now I have to take that apart and see if I can get those to line up better. This works now. It was installed before, but it just didn't work because I had to put bolts in the back to mount this thing, and then the heads of those bolts were sticking out too far and wouldn't allow the slide to open and close. So I just moved one to the very back on both sides now. So now this works well. And then I added a spot to put but I built a little mounting system to hold the grill, and then when you close the stove, it holds it in place. And that is where the propane bottle goes. I didn't like it rattling along on the metal. Oh, and then the latest thing I did is I built this. We had an old cutting board, so I decided that I could use it and put it right here. So there's the stove out now, and right next to it now is a place to put something hot, or to stand over here and do a little bit of chopping. Oh, and if you're wondering what happens with that thing when I want to close the cabinet up, there you go. It's pretty satisfying to get these jobs done.
So we're leaving tomorrow for our 2.5-week trip, and things are a little bit disorganized. we're waiting for a TV to arrive because we broke our last TV. We're not quite sure how, and so it should be arriving today, and then we'll be good to go. So we are leaving today, and we're just doing final pack up. I have to try and fit most of what's in that basket in one of those drawers. Wish me luck. Not bad. Managed to fill most of my clothes in that one drawer, so pretty good. Late start today, but we are off, ready to go. We are not towing the Jeep. The Jeep is right there. I'm gonna park it in the driveway, and then we're gonna take off. It's 1:27.
Yep.
And we're an hour late. We're an hour late.
There's so much to do to get everything ready.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's crazy.
So many upgrades and stuff.
We were just talking, one of our viewers asked, what were the pros and cons of getting an EarthRoamer, and do we have any regrets? And
so we're torn. No, I don't regret it. I mean,
yeah, I don't think I do either.
But I mean, there are challenges. You know, it isn't everything that I hoped it would be, right?
Well, and I think the reality is nothing's perfect. Nothing is ever perfect.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, would you like something that's a little bit bigger? Sure, but can it go where you want it to go? No.
No, size is okay. I mean, it's a bit small, but anything bigger, like you said, we wouldn't have been able to go to Kofa through all those ravines and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
it was fun.
The big tires make it wander a lot on the highway, which was disappointing.
Times.
Yeah, and to be fair, I mean, yes, the issue should have been caught before we bought it, but it didn't happen. Okay, whatever. EarthRoamer said they would fix the air conditioners and all the problems with it. However, we're 1,500 to 2,000 miles away in another country, so that's the challenge, is getting down there right now.
Yeah. We are in search of Sasquatches. We're actually not going to that resort. We're going straight through.
So now we're the Sasquatch research vehicle.
Sasquatch research vehicle. They're not gonna like Sasquatches.
I think Sasquatches are friendlier than zombies.
You think so?
I think so. Just alongside of, well, this is Wood Lake, but in the background there, way back there, is Harrison Lake. Ray is just leveling the rig. That's why it's still going. This is a little bit more civilized than what we're used to, but this lake is really pretty. Yeah, new coming work. Oh, there's Lulu. We talked about that. The couch usually gets taken up.
and I am cooking some nice tenderloin steaks and some Caesar salad, and then I am about to plate our dinner. And look, I have extra space. This is so nice. There are 2 cutting boards, or not really cutting boards, what do you call it, 2 counters that are behind those seats. And then what do we do with Lulu? Because that's, you know.
That's her spot.
Her spot. There's Ray's spot.
Here's my spot. And we're watching our video.
And we're watching our video just launched today.
So
hopefully you guys watched that one. So we finished dinner and now we are about to do dishes. It's nice when something works out the way you expect it to.
And it may have taken an entire day, but you know.
It took a little bit longer than Ray expected, but it works. We're pretty happy with it.
It works.
Yeah. Thanks, Ray.
You're welcome.
So we're staying at a rec site tonight, but it's not crowded, but it's pretty noisy. It's Friday night.
You hear how many people there are? So it's a huge crowd, like a school or something.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Anyway.
Tons of people there.
Anyway, we're just having a campfire. We're just gonna sit and have a campfire. Here we are.
Oh my God.
Oh, Lulu.
Okay, first of all, before we tell our latest story, I'll show the real life. Oh, hi, Stella. EarthRoamer, first thing in the morning. We just got up. So sometimes the size can be a challenge. Okay, so what's your story this morning?
So I was brushing my teeth, and Ray is jealous because he forgot his toothbrush, which is no big deal. Today we'll stop in at a town to pick up a toothbrush. But yesterday, when he was brushing his teeth before bed, I told him, why don't you use a face cloth so that you can actually, you know.
Yeah, which I thought was gross at the time.
But I took Lulu out for a walk this morning while he was brushing his teeth. And
Rubbing my teeth.
Rubbing your teeth. And so I came in and used my face cloth to wash my face.
I didn't know she'd use her face for it, though.
Oh, okay, so yesterday...
So I brushed my teeth with the face cloth that she used to wash her face last night.
Yeah, and then I used that same face cloth to wash my face. The face cloth that Ray used to brush his teeth, I used to wash my face.
Yes, but the funny part was you were busy washing your face and I didn't notice. And I said, oh yeah, this morning I tried using the face cloth instead of just my finger with the toothpaste. And you said, which face cloth? And I said, the face cloth from last night. And you said, the one that was hanging up in the bathroom? The one I'm using to wash my face with now? Yes, that face cloth.
I just put his mouth in my eyes.
I beg your pardon.
So one of our viewers suggested that we put a magnet here to hold this board down. And that's exactly what Ray did. Anyway, works really great. It doesn't move at all. So great solution. Apparently they call this the phone booth. And if you head up this way, you will see Lulu's not happy that everybody's ahead of her. But there's a little chair set up here. This is the phone booth because apparently this is the only place you can get cell service.
I thought it was up there.
It's pretty clever, actually. It's pretty cute.
Oh my God. Yeah. You need to go on a diet.
Diet. She's already pretty skinny. day 2 on our 18-day trip, and we are dead again. It's likely catastrophic. Our EarthRoamer is dead on the side of the highway. We are just waiting for a tow truck. So here we are, broken down again.
Yet again.
Day 2 into our 18-ish day trip, and we are broken on the side of the road waiting for something to be able to tow us back home. Fortunately, we have BCAA, BC Automobile Association Insurance, and they will do a one-time tow up to 320 kilometers for free.
Yeah, but I don't think they realize how big a rig this is.
Yeah. Well, we're taking it well this time. We're a little bit more seasoned now. We are...
Why is it though always like at the worst possible time?
On a Saturday afternoon when you can't get anything. We can't get a rental car, so we're not quite sure what we're going to do with us and the 3 dogs, because now we're not towing our Jeep.
Yeah.
And so now we have to, the rental or the tow truck isn't going to want to fit 2 adults and 3 dogs. Usually they have room for 1 adult. So we might have to put me and the dogs up in a hotel for the night, and then Ray might have to drive back and pick us up. Oh gosh.
It just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
So back to our previous discussions about do we tow a Jeep or not?
In this particular case, it would be really
and our
nice.
Subscribers or our commenters were probably split 50-50. Some people saying leave the Jeep, some people saying tow the Jeep, and we're split.
It's so much nicer not having it, because then we can all be in one vehicle. We're not towing the extra 6,500 pounds. Is that what it is?
Yeah, roughly 6,000 pounds, whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah. Now I could follow in the Jeep, but that would be not nearly as much fun.
Anyway, so we didn't bring the Jeep.
And here we are.
And here we are, broken down, no way to get home.
Broken-hearted yet again.
No place to go. I think there's a limerick there somewhere.
Yeah. Here
Again,
we sit. Broken-hearted.
The limerick comes out of me, yeah.
Yeah, but at least we have a comfortable place to sit, and nobody's come and told us to get out of here. So we're working through it. We'll see what we can do.
Here we go again.
Here we go again. If it wasn't so... I don't know. What are you going to do? You just work through it, right?
Yeah.
I am in a hotel with the dogs, and while Ray is waiting for a tow truck to come and pick up and tow our rig back to Vancouver. Rudy's not very happy. He keeps looking at the door thinking that Ray is going to arrive. And he's sitting right in my way. I can't watch TV. This is quite sad. This is not how our trip was supposed to go. And we're getting a little bit frustrated. I'm going to be here for the night. Ray is staying with the motorhome. There's going to be a vehicle coming to pick him up. They need to put the EarthRoamer onto a flatbed tow truck, and they'll tow him back to Vancouver. He'll drive with the truck in the passenger seat. Once he gets back to Vancouver, he'll go pick up our Jeep, which we weren't towing, and he'll come and pick us up. So I have to hold tight here until he can come and get us.
This is day 3 of our first trip. Something serious going on inside the engine. I don't know what it is. I know it's not turbo this time, but I don't know. I hope it's not like a connecting rod bearing or something, but I don't know. So disappointing. Broken down again.
Living the dream, yeah. Feeling a little bit disappointed, but we'll get it fixed and then we'll be off on adventures again, we hope. But this is what we're taking all the way back to home in Vancouver. It's about a 3-hour drive if you're driving a car, so it'll probably take longer than that. Poor baby.
Well, after several hours of riding in a very loud semi, to get back down to Langley, we're here. The shop doesn't know we're coming because he was closed yesterday when I tried to call him. So he's going to have a surprise when he gets in tomorrow morning, and our rig is sitting there in his driveway. Anyway, hopefully it's nothing serious, but we'll find out Monday.